Hey, what's up everybody? Today I wanted to go over my final book notes on Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. And as I covered in previous videos, Dark Side of the Light Chasers is about shadow work. And shadow work is looking into the negative side of your personality. The fear, anxiety, guilt, shame, anything like that. And looking in anger and any of the negative sides of yourself that you haven't really explored before. So I just finished reading the book, and so I wanted to cover my final notes on it, because as I've gone over previously in this channel, I'm going to cover the notes of the books I read versus just doing one summary, so that I can be more thorough and give more insight into what I've read and learned. So some of the notes I have here are, one of the final chapters is about looking into your core beliefs in your life. And so this is like the things that you've crafted, like why is your life the way it is? You have to, Debbie tells you to look into these. Like if you're miserable right now in your life, what core beliefs do you have? Like, are you looking at your life and saying, my life is impossible, people are useless, everybody's out to get me, you know, that victim mentality? Any beliefs that you have like that, you need to look into them. And she has some good exercises on that. But she really wants you to figure out, are these beliefs still serving you? If not, then you need to develop a counter belief and really look at that counter belief and adopt it into your life. Because if things haven't been working for you, you need to change them up. And looking at your core beliefs is a good place to start. Because a lot of times our core beliefs aren't put there by us, they're put there by our parents or our friends. And Debbie speaks about that over and over in this book, because it's true, right? Like, there's so many things, automatic things in our life that are there that we don't even know why. And if you do some journaling or exploration, like this book suggests, then you'll find out a lot of them, and then you'll realize ways to undo them, ways to fix them. And then after this core beliefs, because the book started out with learning what a shadow is, figuring out the shadow part of yourself that you've been repressing, and then the book ends with these core beliefs and then finding your light, because obviously the reverse of a shadow is finding your light. And that's really what we all want to do, right? Like, we all want to feel good all the time. It's not possible, as Debbie says. There's negative sides, and you have to learn from those negative sides. But finding your light is key. That's what a lot of us are doing. We're trying to find our meaning, our purpose, work that inspires us, relationships that inspire us, and we're not able to get them because we're not a fully integrated human being. So the main way she talks about finding your light is pretty easy. She lists out all these successful keywords, like I am successful, I am smart, I am intelligent, I am hardworking, I am sexy, things like that. And it's this huge list of successful words. That's why you need to get this book. And you're supposed to see which ones don't feel right to you, and you're supposed to write them down. And what this does is it tells you, like, probably the areas of your life that you've neglected, the light side of yourself that you've neglected. And you have to figure out these words and basically repeat them to yourself, because if you can't say that you're successful or anything like that, then how are you ever going to be successful? And one of the good examples that she has in here is let's say you're an overweight person and you're like fat, and you've been telling yourself you're fat this whole time. You can't tell yourself you're skinny, but she says you have to learn how to tell yourself you're skinny, because then the inner skinny in you will never come out. And I thought that was really good, because same thing if you're broke. If you can't say that you're rich or that you will be rich, then how are you ever going to get there? Because your mind doesn't know that it exists. So you have to find your light. You've been in darkness for too long. And then along these same lines, she continues on, like, no matter where you are in your life, you're destined for so much more. And she really keys in on spirituality and God. And some people might be against that, but I think it's pretty key as well. And what she says there is that we weren't born this way. We weren't born to be miserable and limited and say, I can't do this because of this. We are meant for so much more. And you really have to get your mind into that mode of believing that you're meant for so much more. Because otherwise you're just going to stay where you are. And that's another theme in this book is you have to change your thinking if you want different results. You have to start knowing that you're worth more. And you have to do the work in this book in order to know that you're capable of more. And that's basically how she wraps up the book. She wraps it up with like finding your purpose. Like after you've found your light and you're beginning to become more fully integrated, then you can like find your purpose. You can find what you're truly meant to do, because at this point, if you know your shadows and you're moving towards the light, you've sort of removed all the damaged parts of yourself. You should be moving more towards healing. And as you're healing, then you're ready to fulfill your purpose, right? You know, you can get rid of all those excuses about the life you haven't lived, about I have a destroyed relationship, so I'm not pretty enough, I'm not deserving of love, or this job, you know, I can't get a job that I deserve for these reasons. And then your whole life's going to pass you by. But if you heal yourself and you tell yourself, like, I am worthy of this job, I am worthy of a great life, I am worthy of a great relationship, then you can actually find it. And there's a lot of people out there that don't pursue their dreams or don't pursue their relationships that they deserve because of this. And if you don't know the right things to do in your life, or you don't know where you're going or what your purpose is, then she has exercises to help you with that. And you know, one of them is meditating on it and thinking about, you know, the things that you enjoy to do and like what you want to do in your life. And then like sort of along those same lines, I heard something recently from Naval Ravikant, who's an entrepreneur, and he said that his work isn't really work. And he's never worried about somebody being competitive with him, because he feels like he's playing 16 hours a day. And so the people that are working, he's not worried about them, because they're not going to be able to work for 16 hours a day straight. He's going to be able to work 16 hours a day straight because it's play to him. It's something he enjoys. So that's the way you should be thinking about finding your purpose. But also, you're not going to be able to find your purpose and live it unless you find the light and get rid of your shadows. Because if you're mentally destroying yourself all the time, or you're repressing feelings that have been there, then you just won't succeed, because you'll knock yourself out of certain situations. You'll destroy relationships. You won't pursue the things that you're worthy of because you'll feel like you aren't worthy of them. So those are my final book notes. I really recommend that you read this book, just because there's not too many books like it in the self-help space today. Everything in self-help is positive affirmations, abundance, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but there's not too much in exploring your shadow other than like old psychology books. And then there's also this alternative self-help where it's like, screw self-help, it's not going to do anything for you. And then there's psychology and things like that. But you need to figure out the shadow side of yourself. You need to understand where you're undermining yourself and figure out what those emotions are trying to tell you, and just be more observant of them. And if you can observe these things about yourself, then you might be able to reduce it a little bit. But a lot of us, so many of us, we just deny this side of ourselves. We just say, I'm the positive person. I have these few traits that I'm good at. I do these couple of bad things a couple times, but I don't really want to talk about those. And then that's all. You don't think you're capable of much more, and you don't acknowledge that sometimes you get angry and fearful. But those emotions are okay. So that's why I recommend this book, Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. So make sure to go out there and read this book, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you like this, make sure to give it a like and also subscribe to this channel. Thank you.